I uh, I wanted to talk about fairy tales and reality in cyber attacks in today's world, but actually the recent attacks, recent things happened in the world last month and even last week and even yesterday changed a bit the structure of the presentation, but it even strengthened the idea which I wanted to present to you. So first, okay, as usual, just some words about Radware, why actually we are here and why we think we have something to tell you. So Radware is the leading company in application delivery, availability and security solutions. This year actually it's awarded the best managed security service in US, and sorry for that. It's about more than $200 million revenue. All big names are our customers, more than 10,000 customers worldwide for security and application delivery solutions. Not only, okay, these customers are specifically for security, and there you can see here that 8 of top 12 world stock exchanges are our customers, half of largest world commercial banks, largest world carriers, cloud service providers, and so on and so on. So all that is marketing. What's interesting that, okay, during last year and a half, actually 2 large security companies like Check Point and Cisco has chosen our solution, our solutions, anti-DDoS solution for as OEM for their products, including Cisco Firepower. Okay, so this slide I took from last year presentation here, and here were some predictions which we expected for year 2016. What's important here is those 2, and if for permanent DDoS attacks, we actually saw such attacks already a year ago. It just was on race, and we just predicted that it will go up and will make more and more problems, and that customers usually do not have resources to fight such attacks. Then Internet for Things was some kind of whatever, future thing, whatever. Again, I don't know how air conditioner will attack our network, or Frigidaire, or CCTV camera. And that's what actually happened. That's what happened months ago. That's what happened last week. And that's what I want to discuss deeper today. Based on two things. One is what actually the media tells us about that. Which fairy tales we hear from there and why. And the second part is what really happens there and what we can do with that. So let's see the latest monsters at media, which and what's behind of these monsters. So, what do we see in public media? Not even connected in many cases to our security or cybersecurity. So, different scandals, and sometimes it includes even some IT things and cybersecurity as well, but whatever. Scandals, very powerful words trying to catch our eyes on the papers and on the web pages. The reason for that to find us saying, wow, that's the force which actually push the media to put more and more articles like that. What we see in cyberspace a month ago, 1 terabit attack, 1.5 terabit attack. Okay, cameras attack us, and it's very scary. so on. So the level 3 top manager says, we experience the worst case scenario every year. Okay, so what do we hear? What do we see with that? Wow, end of world actually. Okay, so we have nothing to do with that, and everybody is saying that it's impossible to stop such attacks. It is whatever. We do not have nothing. We have nothing to do with that. Let's see what monsters they just took out to public. During last month, just Mirai, the botnet of Internet of Things, of mostly cameras, Chinese cameras. Internet of Things. Okay, we have actually today about worldwide. We have about 3.5 billion internet users, people using internet, and we have 6.4 billion things connected to internet already today. It is predicted that in very few years, about 2020, 20 billion things will be connected to internet. Well, the new listeners. You have many? Okay, so just imagine, already today, we have almost twice more things, cameras, frigidaires, whatever, TV sets and so on, twice more such things connected to internet than real internet users. And when you use, does it work? When you use your PC, it is somehow protected. Okay, I hope in this room it's protected more. For other people outside this room, okay, children and regular people, it's less protected, but it's somehow protected. So the cameras and frigidaires, TV sets, they are not protected at all. You can do whatever you wish. Okay, you can make it part of botnet very easy, not protected at all. But and on top of that, we have already twice more potential attackers in Internet of Things than potential attackers as regular internet users. So that's another monster. Now, the third one is terabit attacks. Wow, we are in a new era of terabit attacks. And those three things are actually, in the base words, pushing us again and again during last months after attack, Krebs attack in France. But let's see what really happened there. What we know that the Akamai, who was protecting the data center. So first of all, it was Krebs who was sitting in a specific data center of H, and whatever, Krebs published some information, and because of that, we think so. It was an attack generated by Mirai network against Krebs. The first day was against Krebs specifically, then it was against this data center, and the media says us that it was 1.5 gigabit attack. The data center was protected by Akamai, which is the anti-DDoS service, worldwide anti-DDoS service. Now, at some stage, Akamai refused to protect Krebs because they said the attack is too big and it starts to influence other customers of our network. When they say the network can survive a 3 gigabit attack, but still they say it was 3 terabit, sorry, and it was several hundred of gigabit. But let's say what they refused in some stage. Cloudflare, another service provider, said we can do it, but Krebs said he doesn't want the service of this company, which is the company is very strange. But okay, let's see what really was there. This is the only data, the numbering data I found in the internet regarding this case. So what we see in a peak, it was 93 million packets per second, 800 gigabit per second. Okay, this was published by, I think, customer. If you then make a calculation, it is TCP packet. If you make calculation, you will see that each TCP packet will be 8 kilobit, sorry. So when in fact it's 100 times bigger than it's supposed to be. So this number is very strange. Okay. Now what we see that what we really can find regarding this attack, that 1.5 terabit per gigabit, 1.5 terabit per second is the volume which potentially, it was somehow calculated, it potentially could be generated by this botnet. When we talk about 800 gigabit, it's known from the customer, which got this information from whatever, from some kind of sources, unknown. 620 gigabit per second, the number from Akamai, who refused to protect and said, okay, the attack is too big. So it was in their interest to say the attack is very big. In fact, we do not have any information from, so just imagine even not 1.5 terabit, but 600 gigabit per second attack in France. All service providers supposed to be overloaded, or at least work very, very slowly. Okay, it is huge. But no one of them said they had something like that. There was no report from service providers, only from the end user and the company which protect them, which is supposed to protect them. Now, the CDN network protection, CDN protection, which actually was used, failed to protect the customer. What else we know? We know that it was multi-vector attack. It wasn't only some kind of UDP or DNS float. We saw several vectors, at least GRE, SYN, ARC, DNS, UDP, and STOMP floats. So at least, how many? 5, 6 vectors? 6 vectors. And it's what I'm saying year after year. There almost are no attacks with single vector. Even when attacking some specific customer, the attack is multi-vector attack. So, and at the end of the day, what was the attacker? The attacker, physically, it was the network of cameras, whatever, Chinese made, which during the installation did not require changing passwords. So most of them were actually with the same password, and it gave a way to to make a botnet of them. Okay, so it was predicted a year or 2 years ago that such things will happen, and even here last year. So, in fact, because you can see that there are different numbers, no confirmations. Okay, whatever the numbers are moving from half terabit up to 1.5 terabit, and all of these numbers are under question mark, and I'm very skeptical regarding these numbers. We have a very weak detection ability. We do not have information. Okay, so why it happens? Because today most of these systems, legacy systems, controlling the network and controlling detecting the attack and having the ability, whatever, the systems which service providers are relying on them that okay, it will help us, and it helped in the past. Today, most of them are based on NetFlow and different Xflow systems, which collects information from routers on layer 3. So such systems do not see at all attacks which are going higher than layer 3. Okay, most of these systems do not have reduplication. So if one collector is connecting to whatever the router, and collector connected to another router, and the third collector connected to the third router, and the attack comes through 3 routers, the attack will be multiplied to 3. Okay, we saw it several times where our customers were connected to 2 different providers, and one of them said, okay, you have an attack of 2 gig or 10 gig, and when you just switch down this link, the whole traffic goes to the second provider where we control the traffic. We see that okay, the total attack was 600 meg, not 2 or 3 gigabit per second. So there is no reduplication. It reduced our ability to understand how big is the attack. And the third point is that most of the systems have high sample ratio. Okay, so okay, it doesn't matter. It is for saving purposes only, to put less net flow collectors. Okay, so having less frequent samples, you have less information. By that, it is very inaccurate in many cases. So today, our ability to see the attack and to detect the attack and to understand information about this attack is pretty weak in the network side. Now, weak mitigation brings us to weak attack mitigation ability. So, because first of all, if you don't see the attack, if you don't have information about this attack, you cannot stop this attack. Secondary, most of mitigation legacy mitigation technologies are based on IP, source IP data. So it stops attackers either by source IP or just by volume, just rate limiting, or blackholing by IP, or rate limiting generally. So today, actually, the IP-based, the IP address, source IP address-based attack mitigation doesn't work. Well, it works in some cases, okay? Because today there are many ways to attack without showing the IP address, using CDN, using spoofed IP, dynamic IP, and so on, so on. So it doesn't work. In most of cases, it doesn't work, or it works only for parts of attacks. Now, if there is no automatic attack definition, we have to work manually. So we should look on the traffic, we should find the pattern of the attack, then we should configure the system to block this attack if possible. So it's manual work. With today's automation of attack tools, it's like whatever. They can change the attack in seconds or maximum in 2-3 minutes. And you, with your manual analysis and manual configuration, will spend half an hour for blocking such attack. Just we'll come to it later, but the attack in the US last week, they were very proud when they stopped this attack after several hours. Okay. And in fact, the attackers said, okay, we just tested our system. We just didn't want to go again to change our attack profile. So manual configuration leads to an ability to fight complex and fast-changing attacks. And that's another problem we have today. So having such problems, no need in terabit attacks to kill a service or to kill the customer. Okay? Because in the same time, when it was an attack in France, and every newspaper, every media told us about terabit or 1.5 terabit attack, it was an attack in Australia on the government. And there were some news in government in Australian media, but let's see what's written there, what's important. The 3 small DDoS attacks killed the governmental service there. No need in terabits. Actually, you can use megabits, tens of megabits, maximum very few gigabits of attack, and to kill almost any network, any customer network, governmental network, doesn't matter, in the world. It's very hard I mean, today, with today approach of many security people on the customer side, it's pretty hard to detect it and to stop this attack in ways they used to do it in the past. So other non-terabits attack in recent times. So the HTTP-based flood of 20 megabit per second, 20 megabit, not terabit, not gigabit, 20 megabit per second, killed several largest banks in Russia. Between them are banks which internal network which is larger than the whole Latvian internet, for sure. Okay, the 600 megabit per second MTG attack killed the system, the network of large commercial data center, protected with two different anti-DDoS legacy anti-DDoS systems. Okay, actually, the attack was even overkilling. When we tested it later, we saw that even 100 megabit per second attack such type, the MTGRE, would kill the protection system in this data center. Okay, persistent slow attack plus HTTP attack, small one, kept large bank out of service for days in US. Okay, unfortunately I cannot tell the names and whatever, not in a positive part, not in a negative part. Okay, nobody, the security people do not like to be references and to tell anything about their network, but believe me, that's the real cases, even from whatever, very recent times. Okay, so now to last week. Okay, let's see what we saw in media last week. What do we see in this map? Looks like the nuclear attack on the US. Okay, eastern coast, western coast, Texas, everything is down. Chicago. So, but what we should put attention on, it was on all media. Every media just republished this picture as it is. Let's see what's written here. Level 3 outage map. Level 3 is one of the largest US providers. When you just contact level 3, they do nothing about this. It was not any outage in level 3. Okay. What people, the first one who published it is one yellow website, okay, who said, okay, we have very good ability to analyze data and to see what happens where in the world, and they put different graphs and so on. Sometimes it works even. But here, this site was the source of this information, and what they probably meant that level 3, meaning IP network, like the level 2, level 3, level 7. So the level 3 network was out. It's not even right again, because actually the internet network worked. It was everything okay with internet network except DNS servers. Okay, so everything worked again, except your requests for specific sites, for all sites actually. Because the point was that the attack was against, I thought it was here. Okay, the attack was against, I don't know, I hope probably everybody knows the story, but I will repeat it, because I have time, occasionally. So, the attack was against a company called DIN Inc., which is the hoster of DNS servers. They host core DNS servers, like .com. Okay, and when the problem is that for many networks and for many customers, for many low-level DNS servers, this was the only source for top DNS query. Okay, so what was down was the DNS network of DIN, and the attack was against this network. There were two waves. The first wave was against East Coast. Even UK partially was down, but just by killing DNS servers. It was just it was an interview here for one of the TV channels, and they asked me if this such and such specific customer or such and such government board is well protected. So the answer was that it doesn't matter how you protect the customer. I mean, you definitely have to protect whatever, the central bank or Ministry of Interior or Army or Pentagon, whatever. You have to protect it, but everything is a matter of resources. If you have enough resources, you can kill the network, total internet network in the country. Like in this case, it was very simply shown that just by killing DNS servers, you make unreachable most of important sites. Okay, there were several thousands of sites down from known. There were Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, PayPal, some others. And actually, some of them are our customers. So we protect Twitter, for example, and PayPal. But there was no attack on PayPal and Twitter. They were just unreachable because there were no requests to PayPal and coming to PayPal and Twitter. What we saw, okay, I will explain a bit about the attack probably. So it was pure DNS flood, water torture DNS flood, which actually what was hard in the center to see who is an attacker, because actually all requests to top DNS servers came from the low-end DNS servers. And those low-end DNS servers received the requests from cameras, okay? Even one of our managers in the US saw that his DVR is sending DNS requests 3 times a second to some DNS requests, which were pretty unusual. So it was again the Mirai network like it was in France, but it was a completely different type of attack. We saw the vectors in France. Here was mostly not 100%. There were some other vectors, but very small. So the major vector was the DNS reflection flood. Okay, so what we saw there, you cannot see it from the center. You cannot see the attacker from the center. But if there are several things. First, if local low-level DNS service would have more than one major DNS server provider, they would just ask the second one. Okay, so then the attack would be distributed. Secondary, definitely we should protect the cameras and all this IoT stuff to be not to become easily the part of botnet. But the third is that if we don't change our mind and we don't switch to an idea that everything should be protected, everything potentially is could be under attack, and then everything should be protected, must be protected. If the local DNS service would be protected, the attack wouldn't happen. And again, I cannot tell the name, but one of the service provider, local service provider in Northern America, which we protect on. It's a pretty large provider, so the request came potentially through his DNS servers to DIN. So we protect their DNS servers locally, and we just stop this attack by behavioral protection. So from this specific provider, which is the large one, okay, the attack didn't came to DIN. If other service providers would protect their DNS servers with specific type of protection, not with NetFlow and all this legacy stuff, the attack would not come up to DIN, and internet would work. Okay, so now we still don't know. So I receive updates every half an hour. So that's why I changed this presentation even today morning. But we still don't know exactly who was who was standing behind the attack. Okay, it was some kind of rumors about Anonymous. There were rumors about new world hackers, which are Chinese and Russians. Definitely, State Department first of all said the Russia behind of this attack, which is not really true, because in half an hour these new world hackers said that actually this attack was only dry run. And they want the next step. They want to attack Russian federal government. Okay. Another rumors that say that potentially it is dry run for election day in US. Okay, because there are many states where you can the elections are electronic in Alaska, for example, and there are more than 1 million people voting from outside US electronically. But Anyhow, the point is that all reports say it was a dry run. Just think about that. The internet in the eastern part of US was down for several hours, and then in the west part of US for about 1 hour, just as a dry run of the system. Okay, now, oops. I lost some info. Okay, we'll try to find it later because I have a screenshot of this Mirai configuration, which shows that they have a lot of different types of attack to choose. Okay, all of those which were in France, those which were in US now, and there are others as well. So if this was the dry run, we should think about the real attacks which will happen as in a normal way, not just for dry run for those 2 hours. And I'm not sure the world, the internet is ready to protect against such global attacks with such changes of mind. Actually, they should change the mind, change the approach of protection. Not to come to protect just when something happened. It's too late, because those people, the bad guys, they have automatic systems, okay, without bugs. It's not Windows, okay. They have much less bugs than Windows, and it works. And they have many reasons to attack, different reasons, whatever, from money and up to political reasons, and just activism. Okay, so what do we have to solve it? So let's see the latest requirements. I took it especially for 2 opposite parts of the world. Okay, one is ICSA, the test lab of Verizon, and another one is the FinCERT of Central Russian Bank from Russia. Okay, which is not published yet even. So you can see that, in fact, they're pretty similar. One thing that is different that the FinCERT, Russian Central Bank, requires attack mitigation within 2 minutes. Okay, and it's published already. Okay, so what's important? They both require to stop attack on all levels, not only network attacks, network floods, but layer 4, layer 7, slow attacks, OWASP attacks on web itself, like cookie poisoning and whatever, the attacks on web, to protect legitimate users. That's what's important, because legacy systems, the main idea was to kill the attack. Doesn't matter which cost, to kill the attack. And to kill the attack, for many years I'm saying, very simple thing, not costly at all. You call me when you have an attack, and I'm for €5 give you the way how to fight it. And the way is disconnect the internet. You have disconnected the internet, you do not have an attack. Okay, so the idea is to save legitimate customers, not to kill the attack. Okay, 2 minutes to mitigate it, more for financial services. There are reasons behind of that. So what you should have for that? You should have the hybrid integrated system, which includes the CPE, the equipment on the customer premises, and the cloud-based services for DDoS, and web attacks, meaning the attacks on all levels for large-scale attacks. So the ability to stop all attacks requires the CPE because, okay, I will not go too deep for that. You have to have it locally from the security reasons. SSL, you should work in some cases with open traffic, not under SSL and so on. So the WAF, for example, has to be very close to web server and so on. The ability to protect legitimate customers under attack. So you should know the profile of legitimate customer. For that, you should have the behavioral analysis. In many cases, there is no way to differentiate attacker from the legal user when you don't have behavioral protection. Because there is the get from HTTP and get from the legal customer, get from HTTP flood and the get from legitimate customer is absolutely the same get. You should understand the behavioral behind of that. So the system has to be automated. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. It works for whatever, children. Okay, because as soon as you have the professional attacker, he has the tool which makes his job automated. And if you don't, you will lose. Okay, so the solution is to have the hybrid attack mitigation system for the network which has the customer premises and the cloud. And if you have only cloud solution, which most of the cases not our case in Latvia till now, so but then you should have the total cloud solution to cover you. So definitely, I would not say all that if we wouldn't have it. We do have it. We do have the cloud service for large attacks, and the CPE. We use our Defense Pro, which is protecting all these most banks, which I mentioned from the beginning, and government organizations and so on. We have web application firewall, which protects customers. We have the emergency response team, which covers you and supports you in case that there are too complicated attacks or you need configuration under attack and so on. And we have centralized management. All that is just marketing. You can read it. Okay, so Artur showed me that my time is. Yeah, no, I'm still
running out.
So we still can answer some very few questions.
Yeah. Anyone? Reality, fairy tale.